All righty.
Not sure what just happened there, but I guess I don't know. Having all kinds of difficulties here. It is 7 o'clock in the PM in the Mountain Time Zone. Welcome everybody to another episode, number 107. You believe that already, Mike? Of Guns in the 701.
I was waiting for your sister to sing the anthem, and I had a bunch of Twizzlers in my mouth. There we go. That's right.
I tell you what we'll do. I mean, we can still do that, and probably should, I suppose. That is our intro. So, without ado, here is the national anthem sung by my sister, and that's what we do every time. Here we go, guys, with our national anthem. Can you see that the dawn's early light was so
All right, now we're back. Gunsin the701.com. All right.
We are. Did the applause work?
Yeah, the applause. No, well, no, not yet, because I think the video had a mute. Awesome. Very nice. Clay now has control.
I got my new toy.
You got your new shirt, too. Look at the shirt.
Mania, baby. Yeah, I know Jason was going to listen in, so if you're seeing this, he wanted me to make him one. So I worked on it, although I'm going to do a little something different. This is our first draft of it. Right. I like it, but I think I want it down farther, kind of like the Hulkster used to wear.
Yeah.
But yeah, I thought it turned out good. I mean, it really did. Something.
Well, he had more pecs, and so.
Yeah, I don't have that. Yeah. Mine don't look like pecs
No,
anyway.
no.
Anyway, so welcome everybody to our Guns in the 701 episode. Been a little bit of a technical thing going on here, but we will eventually figure out Twitter. I don't know what it is, Mike. I can go on Fridays and do it, no problem.
By yourself, and it works. I know.
And I don't know. Have you ever tried it when you do it by yourself?
No, but I guess I should, just to see if my connections are all there.
Yeah, I don't know what the holdup is. It's only when it's basically you and me.
Yeah, and it's a weird one, but you know, I was looking at my phone, and you know, it came on earlier and said, yeah. I'm sorry, starting up. Yeah, it's showing on mine that you can go through it, but I mean,
Twitter's working.
Well, it sends me to Facebook, but
yeah, well, and I've got so I put a Facebook link and a Rumble link. Hey, everybody over there on Rumble, welcome. Glad you followed it. Facebook, Twitch, and every place else except on X, unfortunately. So
right,
we will have to. We're gonna have to work on that. I got to get that working. Hey, Dan, good to see you. Corey, yeah, actually, I think Danelle got your sweatshirt done. I think it's sitting down here. I got to look. There's a whole bunch of stuff on the table that's got to go out. So, one shot. Good to see you. Of course, Mike's with us tonight. I think Brian Warner's with us. Eric, hey, good to see everybody. Corey ain't been on for a while, so we're glad to have
Corey's been working. I know.
He must have got caught up like the rest of us. But
yeah, well, you know, out there in the fields doing all the things you guys do.
Yeah. All right, so we need to start off this way, though.
All right, here we go.
Go for it.
A well-regulated militia being necessary to the security of a free state, the right of the people to keep and bear arms shall not be infringed.
Amen to that. And I did fill in earlier this week for Dakota Mornings over there in KFYR. That was fun.
Saw that.
Had actually a really good review. People liked it. I did notice, so we thought we had things set up there. We ran it through the computer. Everything looked like it was going good. I noticed that on our social platform medias, it was not, the audio was not good.
Right.
So anyway, I'm going to get that. I'm going to grab that audio when they upload it to their iHeart. At least I'll have the audio, and I'll go ahead and put that in there, and I'll get that placed on everything again. I might even just run it live and take the commercials out, except put our own in there. Speaking of that, thanks to Lauer Auto Repair, 309 South Washington Street, 701-258-6308. Hey, they do great work down there, Axing the boys. Hunting seasons are coming. Get that vehicle in there, get it tuned up, get it fixed. I can tell you this. One thing I don't want to be is sitting there in the middle of nowhere when my vehicle breaks down and I got to walk a lot of miles back to a road.
Leaving your gear and everything in the car. Yeah, that's not good.
So,
you know.
Get down there to Lauer Auto. They'll get you fixed up. Bloodline Kinetics, again, I know that sounds like Jacob's about got our ARs done. We're hoping that he'll have them done very soon so that we can get out there and do a little test before the weather gets bad. Braden Mitchell's tuning in. That's a good friend of my son, so glad to have Braden.
Go. Hey, Braden.
All right. I think we got all the announcements done. I will tell you tonight, we kind of put together a rough draft. We're going to talk about a survey that shows Harris and Walz are out of touch with Americans. Go figure, right, Mike?
Right. Well, just a little bit. I mean, you've got to figure. Of course, they say that the bitterly divided political climate, it's a rare, if any, high-profile Supreme Court decision to get the support of a broad cross-section of society. But a survey in the Marquette Law has found the exception to the rule, and the Bruin decision that struck down the May issues carry laws in New York, handful of other states. The decision was seen as a majority to support the every Marquette Law poll taken, 6-3 opinion, basically saying that people are in favor of what's happening with the Second Amendment expansions. And of course, now the law clarifying, and Bruin being the case to set all that as well. So it's pretty good.
Well, Bruin was just, as we all know, Bruin was one of the the main decisions that overturned so many gun laws. And it's going to be the basis now. It's going to be a fundamental ruling that will be the basis for anything now that comes through on the Second Amendment.
Right.
I say our content was removed due to violation of our community guidelines. Now what?
From where? Facebook?
From CommieTube.
Oh, CommieTube. Oh, because you have you have guns behind you. Or we sing the national anthem. One of the two.
I don't know. If it's not on, guys, let me know. But it looks like it's still on. I can't tell from this end unless I actually go get on there. But It looks like we got a lot of people in there, so I guess I'm not too concerned about it. But
Right.
unbelievable yet again. I do not understand their community guidelines whatsoever, nor do I care. That's why we've been trying to build up this whole thing with, basically getting our Twitter feed done. We're good there. Shouldn't be any issues when we get on there. So
Right. That and Rumble and also Twitch has been pretty cool so far.
they've been great, but of course no one's found us there yet. I don't.
Well, and well, a few, but and the other side of it is too. Guys laugh at me, but there are a lot of comedians and a lot of guys and gals out there that are speaking their mind and using the platform of OnlyFans now for stuff like this, and they are really pushing to get guys and girls like us on. To give them some legitimate content other than the skimpy stuff. So yeah, I mean it's another platform that we might experience down the road. You just never know. So.
Well, I've been actually hearing been hearing things about people going over there for that exact reason. I thought it was very interesting that they're using that, and for that reason. So hey, I guess you know what? If there's no restrictions there, why not, right?
Why not? Yeah.
So, all right. So a couple of the other things we got going on, if we get to them, is this Wyoming story I thought was interesting. He evidently captured a live wolf, took it to a bar, and we're going to cover that just a little bit.
Right.
Of course, this did not surprise me. Trump is standing very firm on the Second Amendment. Even after his assassination attempt, he hasn't wavered. He's very adamant about it, and we're going to talk about that. Here's a good one. Did you see this, Mike? UK police.
Oh, yeah.
He says he's going to extradite and jail Americans for social media posts.
Yeah, I saw that and I was quite amused by it, as a matter of fact. And I did find it's not the guy that does it, but one of his underlings. This is the person is one of his underlings, by the way, that's working on this. One of the cops that scans the internet to make sure. So as a police officer, and other police officers are out there, I'm like, how do you get your hat on? I don't understand that one. But anyway, that's one of the people that's threatening to extradite us to the UK. But we will talk more about that.
Dan would have put that person right on the squad out there in Dick.
Right out there. Yeah, there you go.
Deputy Chief Constable Rachel Swan. Maybe she's going for Swan look. I don't.
Yeah, I don't know. I guess.
Yeah. I'm not worried about it. We fought an entire war not to give a crap about what the UK or anybody in Britain cares or thinks. We don't. You know what? We're not part of.
But I'll put you in another sentence here. Imagine if our country allowed them to extradite any of us to there for that reason. I mean, if you ever wanted to say that's a ridiculous way of giving up your rights. I mean, basically, is it part porcupine?
Part porcupine axis, yeah.
In season, yeah.
But yeah, so then another thing we're going to be coming up on is if we have time, we're going to talk about the 8th Circuit Court of Appeals. Basically, what happened here is that pistol brace rule that was very overreaching and unconstitutional. ATF has lost that in the 8th Circuit Court of Appeals. There is an avenue for them to go. We'll talk a little bit about it if we get time. I don't think it's going to happen. And if it did, it would end up going to the Supreme Court. And I guess, you know what? It would go back to brewing again, right?
Right. Once again. So.
But all right. And then, of course, we have to talk about, we're going to have another badass of the week. See if we can't get another community strike on that.
Mm-hmm.
And we got a few announcements at the end. We got Friday is going to be a big day for us with Jamie.
Big change next week.
Yep. And then we got Rick Becker is going to be subbing for me earlier on Friday. And then, next week, we'll repeat this again. Next week's show will not take place on Wednesday. We're going to team up with Jamie. So it's going to be Guns in the 701 and the 701 Nation under Guns in the 701 Productions. Kelly Armstrong is going to be on with us. So you're going to want to tune in same time, 7 o'clock p.m. Mountain Time, 8 o'clock Central. Next week, no show Wednesday, but we will have one on Thursday. Just so that everybody's aware of that, tune in on Thursday. There's really no reason to do 2 back-to-back shows with
right.
that coming up, so that's why we decided to do it. Hey, Jamie just got in there. Good to see you. And who knows? Maybe on Thursday, our Twitter feed will work.
Maybe. Just maybe. Keep those fingers crossed.
So let's tell you what. Why don't we take... We've already been on for a little bit here. Let's take our first break. Let's thank some sponsors, and we'll get right into it. I don't know. Which one you want to do first, Mike?
You want to hit a double first or a triple?
Well, I was
first?
talking about the story.
Oh, the stories. I want to hit the UK thing first. I really do. I want to get that out of the way because you got to hear this guy.
So let's take a
what
quick
he's got
break. On the other side of the break, we'll come in and we're going to trash those them Tories over there in the UK.
there. All right, I'll hit this. You hit the spots. Oh,
I'm from the Athlete's Foot Foundation.
Brother, hey, can you get my demo tape to somebody?
Lauer Auto Repair, located at 309 South Washington Street in Bismarck, North Dakota.
Give them a call at 701-258-6308.
The team of mechanics at Lauer Auto can take care of any problem your vehicle is having. And when you do business with Lauer, you can be assured you're doing business with a pro Second Amendment America First repair shop. There are plenty of other auto repair shops in the Bismarck-Mandan area. But why take a chance at patronizing a shop that might not have your beliefs at heart? Make no mistake.
Make no mistake.
Lauer Auto is your pro Second Amendment repair shop. When you talk to the guys at Lauer Auto, don't forget to tell them that you heard they are a sponsor of Guns and the 701 and that you appreciate their support of our pro Second Amendment, pro North Dakota live stream and podcast. That's Lauer Auto Repair, 701-258-6308.
701-258-6308.
Located 309 South Washington Street in Bismarck, North Dakota.
Experience the exhilaration of power in your hands at Bloodline Kinetics. Why Cerakote? Simply, it aids in firearm preservation while also giving your piece a unique look. Barrel threading, NFA laser engraving, bolt handle threading, mount, level, and bore, sight scope chamber, rebarreling, and much more. Bloodline Kinetics is meant to reflect a long American lineage in gun ownership, who stand for the Second Amendment rights, Bloodline, and the science behind gun accuracy. Kinetics. To some, it's just a constitutional right that can go away. To us, it's in our American bloodline, and we believe it should stay that way. Here at Bloodline Kinetics, we understand that hunters, sportsmen, women, and gun owners should have a quality firearm. Stop and see us at 2008 Morrison Avenue 2 in Bismarck, North Dakota, 58504, Monday through Friday, 8 a.m. to 5 p.m. Call 701-390-7997. Visit our website, bloodlinekinetics.com.
And we are back, paying a little tribute, or paying a little what do you want to say? Thanks to our sponsors. I'm out of it tonight, guys.
That's all right. By the way, I don't know if we mentioned one of our other great sponsors in there, Little Angry Man Arms. Of course, we've got him on there from Trail City as well. Of course, I got to talk to him about some ideas I've got about some suppressors and whatnot. So yeah, we've got a lot of things going on.
All right. Well, take it away. I'm gonna let you take lead on this, baby. On the
well, I'll tell you it, and I like how the this came out of Twitchy.com. Of course, it's isn't this adorable? Is what the title of this is. The UK is really unhappy with Americans right now. Now they're embroiled in their own right to free speech. Encourage our brothers and sisters across the pond to stand up, of course, to the insanity that they have going on over there. Now, this time it stems from a stabbing at a Taylor Swift dance class where 3 young girls were killed and several more wounded. And in the midst of all that, we have this gentleman from the UK government wanted to have a little something to say about us over here in America.
We will throw the full force of the law at people. And whether you're in this country committing crimes on the streets or committing crimes from further afield online, we will come after you.
Talk to me about that, because we have seen some high-profile figures whipping up the hatred. You talked about it in there with the officers, in fact, about this being added to by online commentary. I mean, I'm even thinking of the likes of Elon Musk getting involved. What are you considering when it comes to dealing with people who are whipping up this kind of behaviour from behind a keyboard, maybe in a different country?
Being a keyboard warrior does not make you safe from the law. You can be guilty of offences of incitement, of stirring up racial hatred. There are numerous terrorist offences regarding the sort of publishing of material. All of those offences are in play if people are provoking hatred and violence on the streets. And we will come after those individuals just as we will physically confront on the streets the thugs and the obs who are causing the problem.
So
That's what I think of that.
a nice little laugh box right there. I like that because it's just absolutely ridiculous. Now you think about it, when you do have crime, no matter what country you're in, and you're going through this stuff. So what do? Well, we're going to have people monitor the internet so that if you're talking in a way that we don't like, we're going to come after you, and in other countries. And I'm like going, dude, England ain't coming over anywhere to do anything in any country. You know, they once was the sun never set on the English kingdom, and those days are long gone. So Chief met police chief there. Yeah, not so brilliant. So, but anyway, let me get rid of that guy real quick because that's just an amazing thing to think that he could do this. Now, on that same way, they have, well, like we have the dumb people that do the gun buybacks here in the United States. They do knife buybacks all the time too. So I don't know if you can make this a little bit bigger and notice in here all the knives and stuff on this that have been picked up on this buyback, but there's a spoon in there. There's a little spoon. On top of that is a practice foil, a lot of steak knives. There's actually, that's not a knife I see over on the right-hand side. That's for sharpening your knives.
Yeah, that's a steel. Yeah, that's for sharpening. Wow.
Yeah. So I'm looking at, these are the things that people turn in. This is a prime example when you're saying, oh, we're going to have them turn in all their dangerous weapons. And people are like, well, I don't need this anymore. So how much are you going to give me for it? Oh, $50, $100? Sure. What the heck? Dummies. Anyway,
I was looking to see if I had a sound for that, but I don't. So.
Oh, you'll get one.
You'll get one.
But I had to let you see that one. That one's awesome. They're spending their time with this case over in Europe, of course, where these people got killed by a crazy person with a knife. Yeah. And, it's amazing that it could have been taken down pretty damn quick if people could carry.
Britain, UK, and Britain, they actually have some forms of knife control. I haven't looked at what the rules have been lately, but they did put them in several years ago, actually over a couple decades ago. They had some sorts of knife control over there. Axe asked, he says, was he the same one that started the news conference by speaking Arabic? But he could have. I don't know for sure, Axe. I really couldn't tell you, but that would not surprise me that they would pander to them people. And I mean, let's just face it. They've got a big problem over there, especially with those people. And they've got an illegal alien problem. They've been coming into their country too. So they're kind of on fire. I loved some of the comments. Did you go look at the comments that came from this?
Some of them that are in there, which are pretty fun. I mean, people are talking about, guy still thinks the UK is a global empire. Got news for you, buddy. It is not. I like the one. There's one on here with a young lady holding her, looks like type of a variant of an AK. She's smiling, got the American flag. She says, come on over, babe. And I like that one there, dude. He should try that. We were around across the frozen river in the night to fight once before. We'll fight him again.
Do it again. So, the one I thought was interesting, and there could be some truth to this. So he says, well, it looks like it's not safe for Americans to travel to England. What a shame. And, that's a good point. If you do this while in the UK, actually, if you do this, you do it here. I mean, I could see them people, they don't have a constitution like
No, they do not.
So they could keep your name in some database, as a horrible, misinformation, whatever you want to call it. And as soon as you land there and go through customs, boom, they could arrest you. Now, it wouldn't be smart.
Tell me how this is different than what Russia does when people go over there and they trump up charges on them. That is no different. Exactly. Throwing them in jail for 2, 3, 4 years and hard gulag labor and everything. And with all trumped up charges that you can't refute, you can't use your lawyers. You have to use their lawyer. And their lawyer is told, just like in the Chinese government, your lawyer is there just to plead that you're guilty. And that's it. That's all you have.
If they want to suffer the same issues that Turks and Caicos had, now they had some horrible gun laws there, and they were arresting our American citizens who go down there. And let's face it, their only stream of revenue is pretty much tourism dollars. And a lot of that comes from the Americas. So if you think about that, you're going to have some problems if you start doing that over there in the UK and Britain. I mean, I don't need much of a reason to go over there anyway. But
No.
now I really don't. I got no desires to go over there at the moment. I would not mind going and seeing Scotland. I'd like to go over
Right.
there.
Right.
Maybe Australia. I know they're getting pretty commie too. But there's plenty of places for me to go here and see, and I don't need to go over there and expose myself to that.
No.
Time magazine. Americans own 46% of the world's 1 billion guns. Good. That we got that number up.
I would have thought we were way above that, but apparently, I guess it's because we're
The Middle East has a lot of guns, so
Yeah.
that does not surprise me. And there's really no regs over there. And
No.
let's remember, they don't have an NFA, so they got full autos.
That's true.
I mean, there's a lot of. You got to remember, our country is one of the few, I guess, when you compare it to countries. Now, granted, I guess you call us the civilized countries or first
Right.
world countries, who have a National Firearms Act was passed in 1934, and you can't have a full auto unless you actually get a tax stamp and get your class 3. So we have they're very restricted.
Let me remind you about the UK, though, is that you can own a pistol, you can own a rifle, you can own tactical rifles, you can own all that stuff if you have money.
Yes.
So the haves-nots and everybody else is left to fend for themselves, and that's the way it goes. So, and we talk about it, stab several people, nothing. Sexually assault young girls, nothing. Criticize immigrants on Facebook, well, the police are coming for you, and that's the way it is in the UK. So, I mean, that's just how it works out.
They're pretty much, 1984 was a book that was supposed to be fictional. It seems like it's a playbook for a lot of these socialists and communists.
I know.
And they're following it. They just are. If you haven't read it, go read it. The movie's okay, but read the book. Trust me. Hey, I'm going to get a couple, some of these comments here. Gene Cox says, hey, good evening. I'm here. Jason, hey there. See, Jason, I'm wearing the shirt because I finally made it. Josh Patterson, good evening, fellows. So, yeah, glad to have everybody tuning in. Actually, the numbers are pretty good tonight I'm looking at the website and I'm looking over here at Rumble. So, glad to see everybody tuning in there. And, of course, I can see the other viewers on Twitch. And, hey, we got 2 people on Twitch. Check
I
that
know.
out.
There we go.
Mike.
Yeah,
How
and
about
I'm liking that. And plus, you know what? We've got a lot of people that watch this in a later time too. So we do appreciate when you come back and take the time to watch us as well. And it's fantastic.
Well, our Rumble replays, when I notice Rumble is really good. If you go over there, they're anywhere from 150, 80 to 150, some depending on our guests or what we did that night. I've even seen them as high as 200. So Rumble gets a lot of traffic, and you don't necessarily have to be a follower with an account. So I don't know. I think it kind of counts that. I was kind of looking through some of that Rumble stuff, and they do count it. And I don't know how YouTube runs it. I'm so frustrated with CommieTube. I really don't even care.
Yeah, and I truly wish we could do away with it, but it's one of those necessary evils at the present
We'll be
moment.
there as long as they let us be there, and then tell people quit using YouTube and go to Rumble and some of these others. But right now we're on them all, and who knows? Like you said, we may be heading over to OnlyFans, and don't get crazy. I've actually been looking at this as to what it takes, and there are other things other there than the bad stuff,
Right.
And a lot of podcasts, a lot of comedians, like you said, they're actually going over there because there's no limits. There's no limitations. There's no censorship, obviously. Right. So I don't know. It might be a good opportunity. And I read an article where OnlyFans is starting where they're going to try and do a different part of their website for them.
Yeah, for that exact same thing. So they'll
blame them. I mean, they're at least capitalists. They're like, hey, here's the revenue stream. Can you imagine them taking over, doing that, and launching, and then everybody abandons YouTube? That'd be great.
Oh, I'd love it, and you'd see it in droves. As a matter of fact, you'd see it in total droves of people jumping over because they're getting sick and tired of being throttled down by YouTube and the ridiculous left-leaning ideas,
especially on guns. It's getting bad, and they just haven't gotten to us yet. So.
Well, we've got dinged on Badass of the Week for guns. And I'm showing historical facts like Nazis and Americans and everybody marching with guns. And of course, that is going against their community standards. And I'm like going, it's just ridiculous. And I'm like, I don't see them dinging the History Channel every time they're playing a Hitler video on there. I mean, what the hell?
I don't mind that at all. But we're horrible people. So, well, I'm going to move on here. And I thought I'd like to hit this survey. The one that shows Harris and Walz are out of step with Americans on their right to carry, which is true. Oh, I want to go to this quickly. Brian says, that's fine as long as I don't have to see your feet or anything else. Talking about OnlyFans.
Actually, that's an extra $4.99 a month.
That's a
So
subscription. Oh, God.
it's a bonus of subscription.
Maybe I'll do a Hulk Hogan and rip my Trump.
There you go.
Yeah, all right.
Clay likes to work with the boots on, with
Oh.
the mucks on. He likes to work with the mucks
No
on.
mucks. They're commies.
Okay.
I do not. I have the nobles.
There you go.
Actually, they're a better boot anyway. So I
There
do
you go.
not have muck in this. There's not one single muck boot in this house, nor will there be. So,
Good.
you know me. Gene Cox says community, community and communists have the same root words. Talking about community. Yeah, isn't that something? Yeah, isn't that something? Yeah, all for the good. Well, we won't go down the old platform of the communists and Marxists. But so anyway, so there's a survey out there, and I thought this one was pretty good. It does really prove what we all know. Harris and Walz are probably the most anti-gun ticket we've ever seen running for the presidency. But I like the fact that they have stats here, and this all comes from essentially the Bruin decision. So I don't know if anyone realizes this, but most times the Supreme Court decisions, nobody knows what they are. They don't really garner anything unless it was something like a Roe versus Wade when it was first passed and overturned, and DC versus Heller. I mean, you just take some of these big ones, and then they get the fanfare, and then people are mad, and then you got commies like Biden and Harris who think, oh, didn't go our way, so now we're going to expand the court, whatever. Well, Bruin was one of them. This was huge because it just slammed the door right in front of these anti-gunners. All these gun control groups pretty much don't have a leg to stand on anymore, and that's the problem. They don't understand it. They don't know why, and now they're pissed. And this decision, which was a 6-3 opinion, it was handed down in June of 2022. So this has been, we've now 2 years into the Bruin decision.
2.5, yeah.
And they've been doing surveys at the Marquette Law, again, on this. It's a law school. And it has been actually in favor ever since they started polling. So the poll finds that 69% of adults support the Supreme Court ruling on Bruin. And of that, it's up from 64% in just this past February. And it ran anywhere from, I was kind of looking back before, it started out in high 40s, then went to over 50. Now then it was at 64. Now it's at 69%. So let's just say, that's 70% almost support this ruling, and it is the highest level of support that they've had since they've been doing it. Now, more than 2/3 of the adults that backed the Bruin decision, that's really got to be disheartening, I would think, to all these gun control groups who predicted, just as they did when an assault weapons ban sunsetted. Oh my goodness, it's going to be mayhem. It's going to be Wild West. People are going to die in the streets. It's going to be havoc, right? Because it's just going to be havoc and terror all over. Well, it didn't happen, and it didn't happen here, as we all knew it wouldn't. And they do not have the facts on their side. So now the crosstabs of the poll. 50% of self-identified Democrats concurred also that the court's decision was right in step with the 69% that said that they support. Think about that, Mike.
Yep.
Basically, 50% of the Democrats in the poll, they thought the decision was right. So not only are Harris and Walz out of step with Americans, the Democrat Party's out of step with their own base.
Well, that's the whole thing, is their base is saying something different than a small minority is in control. So, basically what it comes down to.
Yeah, it's absolutely, and that is absolutely correct. Then you got the independents, 90%, and then of course you got, the independents were at 69% too.
Right.
90% of self-identified Republicans. Now this one doesn't surprise me. They believe that the Bruin decision was correct. And then this whole thing, they point out it was very hard to find a demographic with a majority opposed to Bruin. And here's how it kind of broke out. 73% of men, 65% of women.
Yep.
18 to 29-year-olds was 61%. 60 and older, 65%. Those with a high school diploma, 74%. Those with a postgraduate degree, 57%. Now, that one stood out to me. So if you got a high school diploma, you went to school, you probably went to work, maybe you're in a trade, whatever it might be. 74% of those people are your nuts and bolts guys. They are the grassroots people. They're you, they're me. They are the people, the majority of America. They're with us. But 57% only. That should be higher than postgraduate.
No, I have the answer for you on that. The 74% of the high school diploma people are out in the workforce, out in the fields, on the streets, out there and dealing with people up and close. The 57% of postgraduate workers, a large majority of them, are working behind the ivory tower mentality. They are behind secure buildings. They are behind secure places. They have all these different things going on that allow them to be secure by security and whatnot that does carry guns. But they don't believe that people should carry guns because, that's the way it works.
I went a little deeper on that. So most people that have a college degree today have a bachelor's degree in something.
Right.
Who do you think they work for?
The government?
A government entity of some sort, whether it be state, local, county, federal, schools, because they're all government. They're anything taxpayer funded. That's kind of how disheartening in itself. Because the one estimate they had was over 61% of college graduates go to work for government. That's ridiculous.
Yep.
That means our government's too big. So that would explain the 57% as well. Like you said, they're not out there with us, right? Jason Dice always said 2%. So anyway, then they broke it down. Non-Hispanics 72%, 65% of non-Hispanic blacks, and then 64% Hispanic. So overall, though, all the numbers, nothing's under 50%.
Right.
So, and I noticed they're trying to back away from their anti-gun rhetoric, both Camel Toe and Walz. I heard a good one today on America's Real Voice on American Sunrise, and they're calling him now Tim A. Walz. That was pretty good, Tim A. Walz. But they're anti-gun. And they're out of step with everybody. So here, do you know what the only demographic was with the majority opposition to Bruin was?
Oh, that'd be the very liberal adults.
Yes.
Right?
Yeah, go ahead. Jump in here on this. I think
42% of those support, and strong Democrats, 47%, support majority opposition to Bruin. That's what they found anyway. So, of course, not only does it demonstrate that the gun lobby, the gun control lobby is out of control and out of step with American politics and American policy and what the public wants. It's just another potential line of attack against Harris Walz's campaign going forward. Now, Harris previously declared that the Bruin decision defies common sense. And I always love that because it's always the thing that doesn't go their way that defies common sense. Of course, the odds are taken that the text of the Second Amendment clearly protects the right to both possess and carry a firearm. And of course, not just one, we suggest many. So,
and the problem with her whole conception of that, she was the attorney general in California, and she was a DA before that, and she doesn't believe you have a Second Amendment right. That means you're not a constitutional lawyer, and you have no place being anywhere near making decisions when it comes to
one thing that drives me nuts is this whole thing on Walz is that I'm a hunter and I'm a this and I was a soldier, but he's saying
was I'm a hunter. That has nothing to do,
not a damn thing to do with any of this. But they're saying that, of course, he carried a semi-automatic rifle in war, so people should not have the right to do the same. And I'm like going, one, you didn't carry it in war. Two, a semi-automatic is anyway. We can go.
Civilian rifle.
We've been that a civilian rifle. Been over that. We do not carry the weapons that they carry in war. Except for some bolt action rifles, we do not carry the same that they carry in war.
I do. I carry a 1911.
Well, that's true. I got one of those too.
And that's
one or two.
When they start talking weapons of war, I hate that term, but it's interesting because it always gives me this opportunity to educate a moron when they tell me that. I'm like, well, up until the Ukraine war, the AR-15 never saw any kind of combat.
That's right.
Until we shipped them to Ukraine. Now they're a weapon of war, I guess. Crossbow was a weapon of war. The Colt 1911, which is a very popular framed, firearm, shoots a 45 ACP. And I love it. It's a little heavy, but hey, I love that gun. I carry one myself once in a while. You look at the 30-06 Springfield. I mean, the bolt action Springfields, a lot of people are still using them hunting.
Mm-hmm.
That round is definitely used. A lot of people build guns on Enfield actions. Gene's, I know, listening in, and Gene can tell you right now, there's a lot of them guns that were weapons of war that are still being used today, rifles and pistols. So this weapon of war crap is just another catch term to try and get people to get scared, fear, and that's what Democrats do. They want you to, they get emotional, they intimidate with fear, they want to scare the people, and so that they may pass laws to rule over you. And that's what this is about, power and ruling over you. And that's all that's about. And the Democrats, they're the worst. I'm not saying Republicans don't try it. I'm going to tell you right now, the Democrats, that is what they want. That they truly want that anymore.
Well, they want it, and the Republicans capitulate. That's what we do. I mean, we have guys that promise one thing and deliver on compromise. And the compromise with the Democratic side is that they want to take away your guns. So the compromise on the right is that, well, how many do you want to take? That's what it comes out to.
The idea of a compromise with a Democrat is do it my way, then we compromise. That is the idea of it. And our side, for whatever reason, decides, oh, you know what? We need to work with these guys. No, you don't. When it comes to the rights, when it comes to your amendments, there is no compromise. I don't want anybody to compromise with that. I want you to go there and say, no. If it means we're not sending funding here or funding there, that's fine. But I will never vote to dismantle the Second Amendment. So
now, we've got an American mind frame where we think that we have to win in some aspect of 1-0 or whatever points are above. But I look at it like soccer. You know what? We can go into this battle and come out 0-0 because I don't have to capitulate to what you say.
And we've been doing. That's how we got here. That is exactly how we got here. And it's been on both sides. And now we have problems. I will say, I'm surprised that we still have a Second Amendment. But there's lots of reasons for that we're not going to go into this show. But I can tell you that it wasn't easy, and it was a big battles, and lots of money has been spent protecting the Second Amendment, especially since the 60s. I mean, that's the worst. Gene Cox, I like that one. Mm-hmm. He says, Sears and Roebuck sold J.C. Higgins rifles made from old FN actions. It's a weapon of war disguised as a deer rifle. Exactly. And people don't understand that. And you didn't have to fill out background checks back then. There was no 4473. And we can get into that. No, I do not support the 4473. And I catch a lot of flack for that. I do not believe the government, any government, has a right to take my information. Luckily, they don't charge for it just yet. And say whether I can exercise my free right to have firearms.
Now, here's one for you. Now, my insurance wants to know all the details on all my guns so that if my house burns down, they can replace them. But at the same time, I'm like going, how secure are you? Because, I mean, you'll do what would roll over for the government in an instance. You tell me the State Farm's not going to roll over on me, and obviously State Farm is not an advertiser, but, it's just not, I don't believe and trust in those. I mean, there may be some out there that I believe, but
there is an answer. If you want to stay with that communist State Farm, go for it. I ditched them a long time ago. But for your homeowners insurance, go to Lockton, and Lockton will insure your firearms, and they do not ask for serial numbers. That's who I have. Mm-hmm. Pretty easy way, and they're pro-gun. Actually, they were in lockstep with NRA. NRA kind of created them in a way,
right?
And they do a great job. I do like Lockton, they've been great, and I've never had to give my serial. Now, I do have my own serial numbers listed in my safe
in case they're stolen.
And then I can prove also what they were for value. Right. That's the only time I think they would ever ask for it, because when I sat down with the agent, he says, we don't want them, but we know that serial numbers are they're what tell what the gun was.
Right.
Do you have a lever action Winchester? Yep. What's it worth? Depends on the serial number, right?
Yeah,
especially the old lever action. I mean, if it's a 94 Winchester and it was built in the 70s, it's not worth as much as an old 1866 that was built.
Right.
Okay,
right.
So and you and I know the difference, but not everybody does.
Right.
So, all right. Well, a few more. Keith, good to have you on. He says, hell yeah, brother. Brian Warner, if you think hunting in the Second Amendment they better quit charging a fee for a license. There you go. There. I think he meant is the Second Amendment. And
Yeah,
you know,
actually, that's a good idea right there, isn't it?
that's a whole nother. You know, our
That's a
state
show on itself,
constitution in North Dakota says we have the right to hunt and fish, right?
right?
So kind of like concealed carry permits, now they're selling us our right to hunt and fish back to us by the
Right.
license. And we can go down. That could be a whole show. Maybe that's a 701 Nation show to do with
Yeah,
Jamie.
that'd be a good one right there.
And they used to charge. Yeah, they did. And that's what we were talking about. I don't believe in charging for it. I remember, here's genius. I remember a $5 charge from Kmart days. Not sure of the ruling, but can't charge the FFL the fee for the background check. Yeah. So
You know, I got to tell you, I came in here on the tail end of the days when you could still go to the stores and buy stuff like that out in the hills and whatnot. And it's gone now. Pretty much you can't do it anywhere except for like Cabela's and stuff like that. But I got to tell you, I trust Kmart and a few places that there are the local people to sell me licenses and whatnot more than I do our own game fish and mismanagement. The website is one of the worst things that's ever been created, of course, both for North and South Dakota.
yours is
It's
worse.
hard.
South Dakota's way worse.
I think so. As as you get older and computers get a little more difficult to understand. My father-in-law, being about 72, still loves to hunt and fish and everything else, and it is the most aggravating thing to watch him try to go through that website and try to help him out, because they bury things. It gets deeper and deeper, and it gets dumber and dumber every single year.
Yeah, and I know we're going off to a sidetrack there, but I'll tell you something about these websites. I don't know what South Dakota has anymore. I was on it here recently just to look up some things. That's a horrible website. They redesigned it, and it's horrible. Now, I don't know about you guys, but North Dakota, I can actually, get to mine, log in, get to my stuff, and I have my boys under there. I have Danelle under there. I can actually do it. I basically created my own tab for each person,
Right.
so that I don't have to have all these logins for them. I do like that part of it. It's still not great, but I can tell you, North Dakota's
Much better.
is way better, and that ain't the way it used to be. North Dakota's used to really suck, but it is better now than I do believe than South Dakota's. Oh, here we go. He says, I found out I get a discount for my license, but it doesn't apply on the website. Really? So how are you supposed to do that? Do a paper one, Keith? I suppose because you're a veteran.
Yeah.
Yeah. I think all our veterans should have free tags anyway. So.
Well, why not? I mean,
Here we go. Preference point. Let's see. The preference point. This restarted. Okay. I'm not sure
what that was. Yeah.
Here's my thing with the preference points, and that's been a long conversation just about everywhere it's done. I had a real problem when they started freaking charging for them. That's BS. That is bull. What the hell? So now, and then you can actually apply and just get your point. Buy your points.
Buy your points. $5.
Game and Fish, I don't care what state it is the biggest fee hunting operation in your state. And that is plain and simple. And and they have the monopoly, by the way.
And there are also no oversight. I tell you what, that's one of the things about it. Because you try to complain to somebody and it's like, can I talk to a manager? And then the guy puts the phone away for a second, comes back and has a different voice. But, he's like, yeah, what can I do for you? It's the same damn thing over and over again. Oh, Clay has a toy.
I have a toy over here. Well, in today's day, you know what? It could almost
Be like this. You might not even be a male or female, right?
You got a nice accent when you do that one. I like that.
Yeah, that's pre-programmed. So I don't know. Them Timu people, maybe they think everyone's Southern. I don't. But your fault about the Timu thing.
I know.
Anyway,
I know.
I'm gonna finish this up about Walz quick. Like, I also want to get to a couple things he said. He says, I take my kick in the butt from the NRA on this. I spent 25 years in the Army. He spent 25 years, I believe, in just the National Guard. Not that I'm saying that's worse or any less, but let's just face it. He did not spend his time in the Army. I gave the NRA's money back. I don't know. I couldn't get an answer on that. I didn't call out there to find. Maybe did, maybe didn't. Don't care. And I'll tell you what I've been doing. I've been voting for common sense legislation that protects the Second Amendment. We can do background checks. We can do a CDC. Yeah, we need the Centers for Disease Control involved. You bet. That's right in their alley, in their wheelhouse. But here's the one. We can make sure we don't have reciprocity. to carry among the states. That and he emphasized that. He said we can make sure that those weapons of war that I carried, Walz, is the only place that those weapons are at. You know what? Piss off. You know what? The rest of the people say no. This information states it, proves it. They're not in step with us. We don't want to give them up, nor should we. And they're wrong. They're just flat out wrong. But yeah, that's what they're out there. And then they gotta, you know what? They're not popular either. That's already been proven with all these quote rallies now that they're doing with all their AI generated crowds. I mean, this is insane what they're doing. And I did take one of them pictures. I blew it up and put it through my program here. You can't believe the things I've seen, Mike. People with 5, 6, or 6, 7 fingers, a double face with one on their shoulder. It's completely AI generated. It's
I
weird.
can't believe you're talking bad about our differently abled AI people out there.
Yeah, pretty soon.
We have a whole generation of differently abled AI people out there that just want to be, part of society.
So Jason corrected. I thought that's maybe what he says. The preference point he meant is retarded. Yeah.
There we go.
Some states, and I don't know them off the top of my head. Heck, Eric and them might know more so. But they don't even have a preference point system. You just apply, and it's the luck of the draw. I like that better. I really do. If I'm in that situation, having to draw, it's just chance. Then everybody is applying for the same tags, and it's all equal chance. I got no issue with that. I don't like this preference point thing, especially when you're buying them. Because you take Wyoming, when I was always applying out there for elk, they pretty much, or even mule deer, they pretty much ensure that it'll probably take 4 to 5 years now, probably even more. It's been a while, just because you had to have so many preference points. And if you didn't buy them, then you weren't going to get a tag. You just weren't.
No,
I'm not a big fan of those. Let's see what's Eric got on here. He says, it's stupid the way they have it, but I can get around it for what I need. Okay. And you know what? I'm blessed that we have a place. I get a gratis tag. I get a tag every single year. And I'm glad I do. I got to hunt my own land, but I do anyway. I got better deer on our land than they do around me. So why wouldn't I? You've been here. You've seen them.
Yep.
They're coming out of the EHD. I got now whitetails and mule deers. I only ever had whitetails. So I'm happy the grouse population is just exploded. Seeing a lot of partridge this year. And I have to say, we have an actual standing population of pheasants again here. It's been several years since I've had pheasants. So I'm really happy about that. Eric says 12 plus years for elk in Wyoming for most units there. So it's even up farther than when I was applying. That's insane. That's just insane. It's becoming what everybody hated, that only the rich can go. Well, it's kind of that way. And it's all due to the Game and Fish. Fee hunters didn't do it, did they? The fee hunting operation. It was Game and Fish that set that system up. And we got things going on in North Dakota. There's the single tag issue coming up. I think you're going to see that in the legislature next session. And of course, everybody doesn't like that. Well,
they limited us here in South Dakota down to only 2 tags. So you can either get West River and Black Hills, or Black Hills and East River, or but you can't get, that's it, 2. You can only get 2. So and you're done. And so you can't even go to all 3 places if you wanted to, and it's just ridiculous.
So what they did for antelope season here, all the units are open, but you can only apply for 1 tag.
1 tag.
And I'm good with that because the population, it's out there, but it's low. So you can use your bow in archery. And then they set seasons. They said, all right, you apply for your tag. You get your tag. Use it in the season you desire. I got no problem with that, especially with the numbers where they're at. Deer, I think some units should be that way. Right. And then in my unit in 3F2, they let out an additional 1,700 and some doe tags. That is stupid. I don't know. Maybe they got a ton of deer on the east side of Sioux County. I don't know, but I can tell you over here, I hope no one comes asking, because I got so many deer. I know who's going to already be hunting here this year, and I am not going to, just because you got a tag. I know they're going to come here because we got all of that publicly held land around us.
Mm-hmm.
And then they're going to be pissed because you don't let them hunt it. Well, too bad. You shouldn't even have the tag.
Pound sand. Well, I'll tell you what.
We'll go to a break here. But Jason says, what sucks is I can let you hunt my land, but I can't in North Dakota. Well, you can't hunt in North Dakota because you're not a resident. You got to get a North Dakota out-of-state tag.
Yeah.
And it's been that way for a long time. I don't know how to solve that one either. Corey says, our website is terrible. and I wasn't able to put in for a tag. What? I wonder why. What's that? What happened? You'll have to tell us that story, Court. You ain't been on for a while, Court.
You should be.
And now we can do phone calls.
That's right. Ooh, we'll talk about that in a little bit.
But we are going to probably one of these nights take. We did a little test and it worked, so I was pretty tickled with that. So.
We have our own phone number. Yay!
We have our own local phone number out of Morgantown.
There we go.
All right. Hey, let's do our quad ad and thanks some sponsors, and then we'll come back and I think we got. We'll decide what we're going to do. We're coming up on an hour. So.
All right, so we're going to do a quad here real quick. That's cool.
Lauer Auto Repair, located at 309 South Washington Street in Bismarck, North Dakota. Give them a call at 701-258-6308. The team of mechanics at Lauer Auto can take care of any problem your vehicle is having. And when you do business with Lauer, you can be assured you're doing business with a pro Second Amendment America First repair shop. There are plenty of other auto repair shops in the Bismarck-Mandan area. But why take a chance at patronizing a shop that might not have your beliefs at heart? Make no mistake. Lauer Auto is your pro Second Amendment repair shop. When you talk to the guys at Lauer Auto, don't forget to tell them that you heard they are a sponsor of Guns and the 701 and that you appreciate their support of our pro Second Amendment, pro North Dakota live stream and podcast. That's Lauer Auto Repair, 701-258-6308. 701-258-6308. Located 309 South Washington Street in Bismarck, North Dakota.
Experience the exhilaration of power in your hands at Bloodline Kinetics. Why Cerakote? Simply, it aids in firearm preservation while also giving your piece a unique look. Barrel threading, NFA laser engraving, bolt handle threading, mount, level, and bore, sight scope chamber rebarreling, and much more. Bloodline Kinetics is meant to reflect a long American lineage in gun ownership, who stand for the Second Amendment rights, Bloodline, and the science behind gun accuracy, Kinetics. To some, it's just a constitutional right that can go away. To us, it's in our American bloodline, and we believe it should stay that way. Here at Bloodline Kinetics, we understand that hunters, sportsmen, women, and gun owners should have a quality firearm. Stop and see us at 2008 Morrison Avenue 2 in Bismarck, North Dakota, 58504, Monday through Friday, 8 a.m. to 5 p.m. Call 701-390-7997. Visit our website, bloodlinekinetics.com.
Ever tried catching a fish with your bare hands or hunting a deer with a stick? Don't be that guy. At Mandan Sporting Goods, we've got all the hunting and camping gear you need. We're your one-stop shop for outdoor adventure.
A well-regulated militia being necessary to the security of a free state, the right of the people to keep and bear arms shall not be infringed.
Check us out at mandansportinggoods.com, or better yet, stop in to 210 East Main Street, Mandan, North Dakota. Mandan Sporting Goods, where the outdoors meets functionality. Store hours, Monday through Saturday, 9 a.m. to 6 p.m. Closed Sunday. Take up arms at Mandan Sporting Goods. Your adventure starts here.
Looking for the best gun gear for every and any situation? Little Angry Man Arms LLC has you covered. Top-notch guns from top-name brands like Winchester, Glock, Sig Sauer, and Ruger to essential extras from Magpul's, Streamlight, Hollow, Sun Optics, and more. Little Angry Man Arms LLC have everything to make your shooting adventures a success. Visit littleangrymanarms.com today and gear up for your next big hunt, competition, or home defense. Don't miss out on our exclusive deals. Little Angry Man Arms LLC, based in Trail City, South Dakota, your ultimate hunting partner.
Yeah, hey, look, I got the moves like Michael, the flow like Aubrey, walk around thinking I'm a prince like Saudi. Mismatched Converse, t-shirts tucked in, know my worth, can't tell me nothing. White Nikes, albino, can cop my stilo, head to the top, bottom line is a motto.
All right, we're back on gunsinthe701.com.
We are, and I think you guys can do that Mandan Sporting Goods ad now.
Oh, good.
You gotta have some fun.
Yeah, there you go. Clay gets all the good toys.
You have one. We just gotta show you.
I know. I just can't figure out how to work it out. But
I even figured it out. So.
Temu, everybody can say what they want to, but you know what? It's some fun stuff for cheap. It didn't cost me anything. If it didn't work, I wouldn't care.
These were not that expensive, and it took a little bit. I did have to go to this kind of a mic, which I don't mind. I don't know if it sounds okay. Hopefully it does. I'm going to probably upgrade to a better mic, though.
Yeah. But
it's not running off a USB. It's, it's run just like in a radio station, basically.
Right.
Also. Yeah, love it. So, all right. So, now, I think we need to move on to, which one do you want to do, Mike?
Let's do Trump.
All right. Well, go ahead. I'll let you start this one off.
Well, we talked about, of course, that in recent press conferences, former President Donald Trump made it abundantly clear that his commitment to the Second Amendment remains unwavering, even in the face of a personal assassination attempt that came fractions of an inch from ending his life. And, of course, it could have it left him bleeding from his head. So what we got on that, Clay?
Well, he was shot. I mean, let's face it. It was an attempt, but they shot our president. He was shot. He had a hole in his ear, and I can't stress that enough. It's disappeared from the news cycle, except in the ones I watch.
Right.
I'm not even talking about it anymore. But yeah, I just love the fact, though, and it shows. Now, all that aside, let's remember Trump made some mistakes in his first term in the very beginning. He truly did. I think he was listening to the wrong people. If anybody listened to that Musk interview, you kind of know he was listening to the wrong people. I'm not going to make that mistake again, the way it sounded. Yep. But he basically just had a press conference. Oh, that's right. He does press conferences, unlike old Heels High. She don't do any. So he basically told everybody, and he made it very abundantly clear that his commitment to the Second Amendment remains unwavering, even in the face of personal assassination attempts that came fractions of an inch from ending his life and left him shot and bleeding in the head. And as we all know, that the firearm that was used was an AR-15. Now, let's remember, that's the most popular, it's probably the most owned rifle in the United States today. Has it become the symbol of our debate? Possibly. No, I don't know.
I got to tell you, they have not been hitting on that. Now, if this was any other thing on the left, they would be hitting on it left and right, but they are not. They do not even touch it because they don't want to talk about Trump going through this attack.
They don't want to talk about Trump surviving.
Yeah,
they don't want to talk anything about it. That's why they're not talking about it. That's why they're not using it. They're just leaving it alone. And let's remember, gun control, as we just talked to you about the polling, that's just one. It doesn't poll well in this country with voters. Not only that, it's not polling well with their base.
Right.
And that's got to be problematic for them, because I don't care what the media says. Kamala Harris is not popular. She was one of the most unpopular vice presidents until just 3-4 weeks ago.
Yeah.
And now all of a sudden she's the savior. Yeah, whatever. But anyway,
like you said, she had 0 to 0.5% of the vote in the primaries leading up to her becoming, being chosen for vice president. And and she hasn't done anything since. So
nothing. And she's just, smart people is defined in different ways. She's not a smart person when it comes to common sense or relating to people. She might be able to get a law degree. It doesn't make you smart. And she's not. She's just not. Anyway, his declaration, it underscores a critical divide, I think, and I do believe this, in our upcoming race. It's very contrast, right? There's no issue. On one side, you have Trump and Vance. They're both very Second Amendment people. They stood by the rights of the Americans to bear arms. They believe we need guns. They believe we have a right to have it. And then you have Harris and Walz. And let's remember, both of them are blatantly on record wanting to take your Second Amendment right. She wants to take every single gun from you, whether you believe that or not. She says she wants to take assault weapons. Trust me, she wants them all. That's just the first step. Now she's saying she didn't say that. They want to take all the handguns. They want to take the weapons of war. And I'm going to be a Biden. I'm going to whisper weapons of war out of this. They want to inflict gun control like you've never seen. I mean, she's actually called for complete confiscation or a buyback. I mean, that's what it is.
Yeah. Well, forced buyback is still confiscation.
Exactly. And
You're present. Have a
They
pig.
ain't gonna get it done. I mean, they might dictate it. They might make it a law. Come knock on my door. I will not bend a knee. I will die on my feet before I ever bend a knee. And I'll take a whole bunch of them with me. Trumpomania, there you go. I'm just not going to submit, which I'm sure is no surprise to most people.
Right.
And hopefully we'll have a whole regiment with us. So Keith, you get down here because you know I got the goods. We can make a hell of a defense down here. Jay Titan. Okay, we'll go to a couple comments quickly. They even have to cyber attack this interview with Elon, and we're going to play a little satire. Don't get mad at everyone we do.
Oh, geez.
Get this garbage out of America, liberals and Democrats. I really can't believe how stupid and delusional people are. I know, and I don't believe the polling that she's polling that much. They're doing the best they can to slant those polls, doing small samples. Reuters takes the biggest ones. They do them every single week. They release their results, and they're polling, and they're constantly polling. They're probably the most accurate because they even in 2020 they had Trump losing, even though everybody didn't like to hear it. 2016 they had Trump winning, even though the polls said Hillary was going to be a landslide. And they predicted the Obama wins. Reuters is probably the most accurate polling out there, I would say. So I kind of listen to them. Jason, what do you say? He goes, definitely in the 2%. Harris is, yeah, I don't even know if she's that.
No, not even that.
I like this one though. Someone here, the executioner on X, says the time that Joe Biden told Kamala Harris that she could not institute an executive order on gun control because it was unconstitutional. The now borders ours cackling responses. Hey, Joe, just say yes, we can. Yeah, that's her attitude, and she does. She sits there and laughs about everything, and this was a serious issue, and she don't care. She just don't care. So I mean, all I can tell everybody this year. And I've been saying this, it's been kind of my theme lately, if you've noticed, Mike. Get out there and vote. Find every hunter, every shooter, every reloader, every guy who goes out just to the range, your trap shooters. Guys, there are so many of these people that don't vote. Now, North and South Dakota are relatively safe. We know that, right, Mike? We know North and South Dakota are going to go Trump. But I pointed this out in both the last two elections that the Republican in that race actually lost voters.
Right.
Only they won by smaller margins than we've been seeing. That's been about a 12-year cycle in our presidential candidates, and that's disturbing. And that's because of the people moving in, and they're even starting to come here. I hate seeing all these Washington, Oregon, Penn, all these plates, and they're here. They're not just passing through. They're living here. Little acreages. I don't trust them. You talk to them, they're not with us.
Well, they got a little acreage and they call it a ranch.
Oh, no, it's a homestead.
Oh, homestead. There
Yeah,
you go.
guys are
Homestead. Yeah, there you go.
They make it about 1 or 2 winters when they have a bad one, and then they take off. But
I always made the joke. Now, remember, I used to make the joke that I was going to buy myself like a 100 by 100 foot square piece of West River, just so I could say that I'm West River.
Yeah.
But it's a joke. But apparently some people live up to that part. So.
They really do. They really do. So yeah, Trump is he's unwavering even after having an assassination attempt where they did shoot him. He's still not going to call for gun control, and why would he? I would love to see him carrying. You know what would have been cool? He'd have pulled out a gun and shot back, but he doesn't do that, and and right now he's a convicted felon, supposedly.
Yeah.
If I can't, but only in New York though, so I don't know how that works.
Is that even really a state anymore?
Can
we delegate? How about we switch them out? We can make them and DC just a protectorate.
Yeah,
that'd be fine.
Yeah. So, Clay, you hit the nail on the head. Get out and vote. It amazes me how many people don't vote but complain about the problems America faces. Absolutely. Now, is there problems in our voting system? Absolutely,
Yep,
there
absolutely.
is. It's been proven without a doubt. I don't care what the drive-by media says. It is actual true. They got proof. Heck, South Dakota's got their own problem going on. If you've been following that one, Mike,
Which one?
Proving it. Voting down there in Minnehaha County.
Oh,
My goodness, the stuff coming out of there, and they're proving it. So it's really good to see.
Well, the thing about it is that the woman who was in charge, the auditor there, has just retired. She is out because she is tired of fielding all the phone calls from people complaining about the election thing. Well, there is a problem with the election thing, and you having to field those phone calls basically is what you got paid for the last 18 years. So you are getting a retirement plan because you had to do your job. As opposed to just being the auditor, which, signing off on some things and whatever and blah, 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 and, and faking it. But you know what? Oh, you had to do your job and answer the phone.
You're going to love this. Even with all the cheating that's been attempted, and I think cheating has been involved in our elections actually for way longer than we've ever known, because people cheat on everything. They just do.
One way or another.
But it's never been so blatant. Well, they found out, and it's been since 2020. What do you think the two biggest segments of people that don't vote are?
That don't vote?
That don't vote.
That I don't know.
And they're probably registered, most of them. And this was shocking when I seen these numbers, and that's why I know that's why we're seeing this push. Republicans that are registered and don't vote, and I mean it's huge.
Yeah.
And hunters and shooters, the hunting community does not vote, as not like the other groups do. Those are the two biggest demographics in our country that don't vote and participate. I mean, all you got to do is they figured this out. If you can get 5 to 10% of those people who are not voting, I'm talking across the nation, in the swing states, in the Rust Belt, in the Iron Dome, or what do they call that up in Minnesota? I mean, anywhere you think about it, we win because there's not an algorithm they can build.
Well, my thing is I know that everybody's not a fan of early voting, but I early vote because I hunt in November and I'm always hunting somewhere else outside my area. So therefore, I always take a good chance that I'm going to be I'm going to be somewhere.
Vote, right?
What's that?
Absentee vote.
Absentee vote, yeah.
Right, and that's different. Let's remember, mail-in voting, early voting, and absentee are all different. I completely support absentee voting because you have a reason, right?
Right.
I do not believe in just sending ballots out or being able to request a ballot to mail-in vote.
What about on your phone? Because that's the way they want it to go. They want it to go on your phone.
Nothing electronic, paper ballots only. That's the only way it should ever be. That's the way it should be counted, one by one, not with machines. Will it take longer? Fine. I don't care. Then we know. And I want people watching. I don't know why these counting rooms don't have cameras overhead like they do in a casino watching the count. That would take away any doubt. Oh, we wouldn't want that, would we? So I really would love to see that. But right now, all we can do, and I know Charlie Kirk's group is doing, they're paying, and get this, $26 an hour right now. You can go to work in Wisconsin for his group, and all they're doing is chasing ballots. They're visiting the Republicans that are registered that did not vote in the last two elections. They're going and finding anybody that'll share the information with them, the hunting group list, the shooting list, the gun organizations, and visiting them if they didn't show up on a voter. They're going for them people that haven't voted, and good for them. $26 an hour they're paying people for that. It's amazing. So they're and he said they can hire about 2,500 people right now in Wisconsin to do that on top of all the other things they've been. I think that's the only key. We can't change nothing if we can't win the vote.
Right.
Vote, vote, vote. It does matter. Do it even here in the Dakotas. Get out there and vote, because it is so crucial that we show that we do exist. I think they've gotten pretty bold, emboldened because they see these numbers and they go, oh, people don't vote anyway. So anyway, that's my message on this.
Yeah, so we see that Jay Titan, of course, Jay hit the nail on the head. We can get out and vote. It amazes me how people don't, it's yeah.
And Brian, put one up there too. He says, is all the way around. Look at the distance our rural people have to travel to vote in person now.
Yep.
Every rural school and hall was a polling place. Now some people have traveled nearly 2 hours. I'm one of them people, Brian. They took away our polling place, and the legislature, in their stupidity, decided you only have to have one open in your voting district. Well, that's BS. And they decided to put it in Selfridge, which is 100 miles away from me, or not so in Fort Yates, and that's by gravel. If I want to get there, take the cut across. I think that we need to get on our legislature. From what I hear, there's going to possibly be some bills presented this year. And if that happens, I'll keep everybody informed, because we got to fill them committee rooms and force them that I'm hearing a lot of numbers, but they're talking 50-mile radius.
Yeah. Well, that's a good question for Armstrong next week.
And I can tell you right now, I've already visited with Kelly on this, but I'm not going to tell you what he said just yet. But I can tell you that I think if a bill, in my opinion, if a bill hit his desk for that, he'd sign it. We're all on the same page there.
Yeah.
I don't think that's where you cut your budget in your elections. Cut it
Not at
from
all.
some welfare program and take it and put it in your elections. But a 50-mile radius is what I'm hearing of each polling place, or they've got a formula they want to work out,
Right.
and then they'll open them back up, Brian. And I think they should. We used to be that polling place here in the Men's Hay district, and I think it should happen again. And so if it does, I know I've been pushing for it because I think this is ludicrous that I'm forced to vote absentee ballot. I don't want to do
Right.
that.
I know.
Can't even watch it be counted now. So, Jamie, he's chiming in here. If you never volunteered to work as a poll worker, this is the year to get off your ass and do it, especially those who believe cheating is widespread. I agree, Jamie. Absolutely
There you
agree
go.
with that. And Jamie and I had this discussion. He said, I didn't witness anything there. And I'm not saying every district. I think it's not as widespread in North Dakota, say, as in Pennsylvania. I mean, Pennsylvania's already said they're not going to know who the winner is. Really?
Already.
They just announced an official letter from the Secretary of State here this past week. Well, don't expect any results. Wow.
And I'm like going, just like I said about our auditor down in Minnehaha County, it's like, well, if there's something wrong with your job then, that you're not doing your job, if that's the way it is. You've got this, you've had nothing but this is your job to make sure that the vote is counted. One job. And that's to make sure that that vote is counted and how it's counted and count it quickly and get it done and get it out. And of course, if you know ahead of time, you can't do that. And then something's wrong with your job. And of course, we need to there's where you save some money, apparently, on auditors.
So I'm going to put this up. This is from Jamie 701 Nation over from Rumble. He says, I was pissed today looking at the comments on Colin Norr's Facebook page. There's still a bunch of gun-owning shit stains who think that Trump is anti-gun and say they won't vote for him. You're right. They do. I can tell you right now, Trump, from when he got elected to now on the Second Amendment, he's stronger than probably than most of the politicians out there right now. I'm serious. The guy, now I sound like Biden. I'm serious, no joke. No, I can tell you right now, he's had a revolution. He's had a very huge epiphany on the Second Amendment, and he's solid. That you're right, Jamie. You can't convince some of these people. They're looking for reasons, I think, to not like Trump. And you cannot like Trump if you don't want to. But this year, there's no choice. You have to vote Trump because the alternative is the end of the country. And I can tell you right now, I don't know about you, Mike, under the 4 years of Trump, I was doing way better. I'm still fine, but I can tell you right now, I was doing way better financially.
Well, I know you didn't have that Temu box that changed your voice back before then. So
yeah, I can't wait to vote for Trump because he's going to make a better future for me and my young adolescent people in the country. Vote Trump.
See, that's awesome.
You can't wait to get yours hooked up now.
Oh, that's awesome. Now, I totally want to get one of those.
There's other things in here too, but
that's fine.
It's kind of funny. There is.
Do we want to take a break, or do we want to go for our badass before we get too late?
Let's just go straight to the badass, and then we'll come back and thank some sponsors.
We'll do that. That was a good voice right there. I like that. So here's the deal on this badass. It's a little different. I have some glitches in it because I'm having some problems trying to get working with the new program, but I tried to change around the intro, tried to change it around a little bit. Don't know if you got to watch it yet, but a little different. And so I'm hoping everybody likes it. And of course, this is a guy that you all know well.
It's a good one, guys.
If you can guess who it is before, then you're smart. And if not, then we got to talk to you. This is a good one. So we're going to go with our badass of the week here on the Guns in the 701.
When we come back, we're not going to come back right away. We're going to play you a little Elon Musk and Trump clip from the interview.
The interview. So badass of the week here on GunsInThe701.com.
The man who loves walking will get further than the man who only seeks the destination. Embrace the suck and carry on. The difficulty of the challenge determines the quality of the man who comes out the other side.
The future has not been written. There is no fate but what we make for ourselves.
Claw with our fingernails to that inch. Because we know when we add up all those inches, that's gonna make the fucking difference between winning and losing.
What's up, everybody? Thank you for tuning in for our GunsInThe701.com's Badass of the Week. And I'll tell you what, every week we try to pull out a history lesson for you, for the badasses out there that have a story that needs to be told. This week, we go back, way back, to John Leslie Coogan, who was born in Los Angeles, California in 1914 to John Henry Coogan Jr. and Lillian Rita Coogan. Now, he began performing as an infant in both vaudeville and film, with title roles, uncredited, in the 1917 film Skinner Baby. Charlie Chaplin discovered him in the Orpheum Theater on a vaudeville house in Los Angeles on the stage doing the shimmy. It was a little dance back then. It was kind of popular, kind of like flossing now. And while a child actor, Coogan worked with Near East Relief and toured across the United States and Europe in 1924 on a children's crusade as part of his fundraising drive. Now, his efforts provided more than $1 million in clothing, food, and other contributions, which totals about $15 million today. He was honored by officials in the United States and Greece. He's also had an audience with Pope Pius XI. Now, Jackie Coogan, known for his acting career, also had a notable military career, which is where we get to see his badassery. He enlisted in the United States Army on March 4th, 1941. However, when the U.S. entered World War II as a result of Pearl Harbor's attack, Coogan requested a transfer to the Army Air Forces, or the AAF, due to his civilian flying experience. He wanted to do what he could do to help. Now, Coogan, surprisingly, was sent to glider school in Lubbock, Texas, and 29 Palms in California. After completing his training, he graduated and was made flight officer. His training and skills didn't go unnoticed, and he volunteered for hazardous duty with the 1st Air Commando Group. And all those guys could be considered badass as well, so we could do stories on all those guys. Now, in December 1943, the unit was sent to India using Waco CG-4A gliders, otherwise known as flying coffins. That doesn't really inspire the whole I'm going to return from this alive thing, does it? Anyway, the group airlifted British troops under General Ord Wingate during the night aerial invasion of Burma on March 5th, 1944. They landed troops in small jungle clearings, hundreds of miles behind Japanese lines. Now, flying a glider plane during World War II in Burma was a harrowing and dangerous task. Think about it. You're flying around in a airplane made of balsa wood without engines, taking flak from every single island you pass over. Every single jungle had nothing but anti-air guns, people firing at you. And, well, what were you going to do? Wait for the next wind to come and give you an extra push? Glider pilots were tasked with delivering troops, equipment, and supplies deep into enemy territory, usually at night, to maintain the element of surprise. The missions were high-staked and required immense skill and bravery. Now, they were the only pilots who routinely engaged in deliberate one-way flights, knowing that the chances of returning were slim. After all, you fly these gliders to where you're going, flying them back was not really an option. You ditched, you got out, and then you got evacuated through enemy lines. Now, as we said, the gliders used in these operations, such as the Waco CG-4A, were unpowered and had to be towed into the air, powered by aircraft, before being released to glide silently into the landing zones. These landing zones were often makeshift and located in hostile environments, including dense jungles and mountainous terrains. The pilots navigated challenging weather conditions, enemy fire, as we said, and the difficult landscape of Burma, which included the formidable 8,000-foot Imphal mountain range. Glider pilots, often referred to as suicide jockeys because of their perilous nature of their missions, their bravery and sacrifice was crucial to the success of the operation in Burma, providing a silent, effective means of bolstering the ground forces fighting behind enemy lines. Now, Coogan flew multiple missions and guided his glider behind enemy lines, lighting the way for 11 other gliders to land with valuable equipment and personnel. Remember we said those planes were made out of balsa wood and light material? Yeah, there was not much to them. And they were carrying everything from troops to jeeps to small tanks. Now, the missions were critical in aiding the Shindits, a British India special forces that played a significant role in the Burma campaign. And in case I didn't mention it, not only were they flying unarmed, unengined, and balsa wood planes, but they did not have any air support because that would have given away their position, because that's why they were flying at night. Now, Coogan, after all those missions, survived and returned to the United States in May of 1944, was discharged in December 1945. His jacket is on display with the Celebrities in Uniforms exhibit at the World War II Gallery at the National Museum of the United States Air Force. Well, you've seen Coogan's face when he was young. You've seen it when he was a pilot in World War II. Who did he become later? Well, here we go. It's your very own uncle. That's right.
Uncle Fester.
From the Addams family, a World War II badass. And from what I hear, a heck of a philanthropist and a 100% nice guy. And while we're at it, we'll throw it in there. John Leslie Coogan was 100% a badass. Sources for these stories were Wikipedia.org, tracesofwar.com, everydaypatriot.com, and the nationalmuseum.af.mil. Well, this has been our Badass of the Week here on GunsIn701.com. Remember, if you got a badass you want us to get on the podcast, all you got to do is contact us at our website. You can go to GunsIn701.com and find our emails and let us know who you want us to talk about. Now, right here, see the little arrows, is where I would normally put a commercial that would talk about you and your business if you wanted to sponsor the Badass of the Week. So, if you do, contact us as well. Be part of history. You know, all that good stuff. Don't forget, our Badass of the Week happens every week on our Wednesday show on GunsIn701.com. Also, we play it again throughout the week on our social media platforms. And see that QR code up in the corner? Yep, there it is. All you got to do is scan that, and if you got a little extra cash to spare, we would love it. Now, it takes subscriptions now to all these programs that we use to edit and do all the stuff and record the sound, and you know that deal. If you got a little money to spare, we could use it to help pay some of our bills and get some stuff done and bring you Badass of the Week more and more each week. So go and scan that, and I would be happy. If you could see my face right now, you would see a smile. So until next week, when we have another Badass in History, I'm Mike from GunsIn701.com, reminding you, as my friend Clay always says, keep your powder dry and stay safe, you bunch of badasses.
Coming up, Elon Musk's exclusive interview with Donald Trump.
Wow, it's great to have you. You're great.
No, you're great. You really are.
You're great. The greatest. Yes.
You're great.
You're great.
2 hours later.
On a scale of 1 to 10, 10 being the greatest, you're a 10.
Well, you're an 11, Elon.
Wow. Hey, so what do you want to do when you're president?
I'm going to buy a bunch of Teslas, and I'm going to change Air Force One to SpaceX Tesla Cybertruck One.
Wow, I love you.
I love you.
No, I love you.
I love you.
Elon Musk's exclusive interview with Donald Trump. Don't miss it.
I thought that was funny.
I'm glad you like that, because I thought it was funny too the first time I played it on the air at the radio station in the morning, and some schmuck came walking into my studio at 7:30 in the morning, decided that he wanted to tell me that I'm a libtard and that he better watch I better watch my butt, because there's a lot of us Trumpers out there that don't like that you're making fun of him. And I'm like going, dude, I played a thing joking about Kamala's jokey voice 2 days earlier. I played that because it's funny, if you want.
I thought it was funny.
Isn't that the whole point? But you know what? Some people on our side cannot take a joke. And you know what? Screw them. And that's basically what I told that guy. But I told him in a few other words. But yeah, that was basically
They need some old school SNL, back when they were funny and they made fun of everybody. Or go listen to little Johnny Carson. Nobody was off limits.
Nobody was off limits.
When Don Rickles, man, that guy, nobody was safe, and he was funny. So
yeah,
I mean, he was a Democrat, diehard one, and he actually got invited, and he came and made fun of Ronald Reagan. Ronald Reagan thought it was great. So, yeah, people don't know how to take a joke anymore. They surely don't. So,
No.
you know, Keith, he mentioned something about he gets a disabled veteran discount on his licenses, but you can't do it from the website. So,
Which is ridiculous.
it's ridiculous. And just Keith, stay tuned. We might be able to help you out with that, but we'll have to wait till after the election. But I think we can maybe do something with that. That should be up there. I mean, if they're going to offer it, it should be up there. And it's pretty easy to prove that you're a veteran. It's
Right.
really easy to do that. So I think that's absolutely what needs to
Unless
happen.
you're governor of Minnesota.
Yeah, exactly. So did you say you had an armed citizen video?
Yeah, I do. As a matter of fact, I've got a little something down here for you. So
What we'll
this
do
one,
is we probably need to do. Let's do an ad first and
Let's
thank
do
our
an ad.
sponsors, and then
Okay.
we'll come back. We'll do an armed citizen and kind of explain that, and then we're probably gonna give you a few announcements, and that'll be a wrap for tonight.
all right, you hit the ad and I'll hit this.
I'm from the Athlete's Foot Foundation.
Brother. Hey, can you get my demo tape to somebody?
Lauer Auto Repair, located at 309 South Washington Street in Bismarck, North Dakota.
Give them a call at 701-258-6308.
The team of mechanics at Lauer Auto can take care of any problem your vehicle is having. And when you do business with Lauer, you can be assured you're doing business with a pro.
Oh,
whoa!
I clicked the wrong thing. Hey,
I was typing to Gene there, and I don't know what happened there all of a sudden. Oh, my
I think
God.
I clicked the wrong thing. You know, we don't have professionals here anymore. You know, so. Red Fox. Yeah, Gene, you're right. Hey, thanks again to our sponsor, Lauer Auto Repair, 309 South Washington Street, 701-258-6308. Of course, Bloodline Kinetics. You can't miss out there. You can find them over there on 2008 Morrison Avenue, number 2. It's a little hard to find, but you can find them at bloodlinekinetics.com. Again, bloodlinekinetics.com, or dial them up at 701-390-7997. So thanks a lot. We appreciate our sponsors. And when you go in there, whether it's Bloodlines or Lauer or Mandan Sporting Goods or Little Angry Man, make sure you tell them that you heard it right here on Guns in the 701, because they need to know where that their dollars are going to where they need to go. So we appreciate that. All right, back.
So we got to talk about, of course, a guy that was in, I believe this was actually Europe, and a guy came in and into a place that was secure, but not for the customers, obviously. And for an instant, he kind of freaked out and was like, "No, don't shoot me." But then he kind of snapped into place, and it was pretty much in his mind frame where he's like, "I'm not going to let this happen." So I'll let this play real quick for us, and we'll talk about it here.
We can do commentary, can't we?
Yeah.
There we go.
He took a shot.
He grabs him. This is great.
And he beat him down. And so it's just the way it should be. So yeah, it's like, you know what?
Watch this.
You know,
he gets a hold of it.
You got me left or right, but hey,
be like the Steve on him. Oh, and he's on him now. I'm telling you, he's got the freedom stick right there. It's
There
up
he
against
goes.
his throat, and out the door they go. Oh, finally, backup shows up.
Yeah, finally. Yeah, there you go. And then, of course, I had that for you. And then I have one other piece for you, which is a little different, Clay.
Okay.
This is from a TV show or a commercial. I got to remember what it is. This is one of those prime examples that the left doesn't know about guns. And see if you can guess what's wrong with this commercial. This woman is in trouble. There's somebody upstairs.
Oh, I hear a noise.
She hears a noise. She's got her semi-auto, and she's ready to go. But wait a minute, she's got to load it first. So Okay. So so she's got to load it. But but now she's in trouble.
Where the mag is, she's trying to put bullets.
Now-
Our
now
podcast listeners, guys, wow. Well, you didn't play the rest of it.
No, that was it. That was all
Oh,
there
that was
was.
it. Oh.
Yeah. So I just
Oh,
gotta.
my goodness.
I had to play that for you because I enjoyed that so much that
I'm going to defend myself with my semi-auto pistol, but I need to load it. These bullets
Yeah.
must go in the bottom, right? Oh,
Yeah.
they got to go back. Wow. Holly Weird. Gotta love them, don't you?
Well, I got one more for Holly Weird for you, real quick. This is a prime example. Well, last thing I'm going to do for tonight. Prime example of how fake the internet is and why you must always check your sources. So I want you, for those of you who can see this, these are women that are influencers on different social media things. And notice this new app that they are touting that they use all the time.
You know, Mike. Might have to
Hold on. So look at this. Yeah, this is what you, yeah. So you're seeing what I see. And I'm like, I'm looking at that going, well, yeah, I don't trust anything on the internet nowadays. I mean, that's.
Oh, Mike's Follies. We're going to have a new segment, Mike's
Yeah,
Follies.
I got it. That
Oh,
was,
my
that was
goodness. Yeah, and that's just it. Well, they've had these filters for cameras for years on your phone. That's why if you're still out there dating, don't believe everything.
Don't believe a single thing you see online. No.
You might be
not at
very
all.
disappointed, and in more than one way, you might be you might end up in a Crocodile Dundee situation there in the bar. If you've seen the movie, you know exactly what I'm talking about.
Well, the good thing about it is she also does small engine repair.
Well, that might be helpful. Does she do
there you
diesels? Diesel
Yeah,
mechanics.
diesel mechanics. Yeah, there you go.
He actually, I responded to him. He says, get some Dice Man or some Kinnison. That should callous the sensitive feeling.
And don't forget, we're forgetting about the number one guy, of course, talk about Price, you know.
Oh,
Yeah, you know.
yeah.
I remember listening to albums of Richard Pryor, excuse me, Richard
I
Pryor.
know you meant Richard
Pryor when I was a
After he
kid.
set his hair on fire, man.
Oh yeah, man. But before that, I was just fantastic and ripped everybody. Just
Oh,
it was
Eddie
we don't
Murphy
have that
was
type of
pretty
sense of
funny in his
humor
day,
anymore.
too, but yeah, we don't. We don't have. No one has a sense of humor. Everybody's just yeah. Jesus, you might be yanking on something a lot longer than yours. That's right.
Well, that don't take much.
You've seen
That's
the
right.
movie. You've seen the
Oh, by
movie.
the way, and Clay, if anybody has any, we're going to get our emails set up here soon.
Yes, and
So we'll all have individual emails.
they're set up. I just need to get you the login stuff and go through it. So
Right. So on that, I do have one thing. So when we have mail from this point on, I have a new thing for you when we want to introduce that we have mail. There you go. A little mailbag. So I'm always working on stuff for you there, Clay. There you go. Here you go. Guns in the 701's little mailbag. There you
oh
go.
my goodness. Oh, and there's all these buttons here that I don't know what they do, but I'm not gonna.
That one was Thunder, I think. I'm not sure what that was.
There you go. That was ouch. Anyway, all right. Well, a few announcements before we take off tonight. Again, Jamie is coming up this Friday. He's got Kelly Armstrong in. Jamie is filling in for Michael Beld on Dakota Mornings on KFYR 550 AM. Hey, you don't want to miss another great show up there. And I know Jamie's going to do a great job with that. It's 8 a.m. Mountain, 9 a.m. Central, 2-hour show. Kelly Armstrong, the next governor of North Dakota, is going to be on with him. They're not talking politics. If you're going to call in there, don't call in with that because this isn't the show for it. It's going to be more about hunting and shooting and fishing. And trust me, Kelly he's an avid shooter. And I knew he was always pro Second Amendment, but the guy, he knows a lot and he's the real deal. I think he's probably going to be the most pro-gun governor North Dakota's probably ever had. So Dakota Mornings, 8 a.m. Mountain, 9 a.m. Central, right there in KFYR 550. And, of course, on their iHeart app, you can always find them as well. Right before that show, Rick Becker is going to be in on my spot on Friday morning. So tune in there about 7 o'clock in the morning, Mountain, 8 Central. Rick Becker is going to be on, and I don't know exactly what he's going to be talking about, but make sure you tune in, and he's going to be in that spot. I'm going to be gone. I'm taking off tomorrow, and I will be gone for the weekend. I'm going down to have some fun down in the Black Hills, so looking forward to that. Next week, no show on Wednesday. The show is moving to Thursday. Me and Jamie, are you going to join us, Mike, on that one?
Actually, I'm introducing Scotty McCreery at the Corn Palace Festival that night. So I will be at the Corn Palace Festival with my wife. We're going to be up in the high booth because we're special.
You're moving up in the world.
No, we're just old. We don't want to go down in the pits anymore. I mean, that's standing down there for 2 hours. We don't dance anymore. So
anyway, next week, no show Wednesday night. We'll be on Thursday night, me and Jamie with Kelly Armstrong again. And again, we're going to talk on that platform, on our platform, and just talk about hunting and shooting and guns. And I mean, who knows? We'll probably venture into a few things and see what we can't do with that. Kelly's, like I said, he's an avid Second Amendment supporter. He's an avid hunter. So really looking forward to having him on twice here in the next 2 weeks. So I can tell you right now, when you compare him to his opponent in the governor's race in North Dakota, it isn't even close when it comes to the Second Amendment and guns. Not even close. So
and next week we'll be announcing you'll be able to talk with Kelly and all you guys on the phone, so you'll be able to call in.
Oh, well, I don't think we'll do a call in on that one. I don't think we will. We do have the option now. I did get it up and running, but we will be doing it. We'll give you plenty of notifications so that to get the number out there and you can call it. Yeah, we'll see if we can't take some phone calls. We ain't gonna do it all the time, but we'll take a few. I think it'd be fun to have.
We're getting bigger and bigger. We may not be able to get everything working on our equipments, but we can get that working.
I want to get Twitter working correctly.
Yeah, I know. I do too.
All right, with that, that's our announcements. I want to really thank our sponsors again, Lauer Auto Repair. They've been with us since the beginning, 309 South Washington Street, 701-258-6308. And tell Axe and the boys down there you really appreciate their support of a Second Amendment show. And I can tell you, they are Second Amendment themselves down there. And, of course, Bloodline Kinetics, Little Angry Man Arms, and Mandan Sporting Goods. We love all of them. We love your support. Make sure you stop in, tell them you heard it right here each and every time you're in there. So, you got anything you need to announce, Mike? Other than you're not on Friday anymore.
Well, after we leave, I'm going to hit something and let it run for a little bit. And it's from the Olympics, just to go show you that any of us could be in the Olympics. We all could be Olympic stars, even in our older age. It's possible. So,
all right, guys, keep your powder dry. We'll see everybody here next week. And Thursday, remember, Thursday night. Don't forget Thursday night. I pound that in your head. Thursday night, 7 o'clock Mountain, 8 o'clock Central. All right. Good night, everyone, and we'll leave you with this.
Okay, guys, an important part about being a performer is being able to express yourself through movement, being able to move your body to convey a message, to get something across.